I think fast as he runs away and he gets away with the hostage. Good job, dildo.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Von Klaus here. Writer on John Malin and Mark Bolton's Graveyard Shift Volume 2. Be sure to look out for that when the Indiegogo drops. I write crazy, insanely fun comics. And here I am today talking about what's going on in comics. Let's just glaze over some of the creepy corpses and the necropolis that is comics. Shall we? I think we shall. Let's see. Starting off, thank God that Captain Marvel shit's over. I know I'm a little late in saying that because it's been done for a few weeks now, but I mean, woo! I knew that shit was gonna make money, but it didn't make as much as a lot of other Marvel movies, and from what I'm hearing, the movie was a gigantic girl power anthem, which means in the future, no one's gonna watch it. I don't think feminists have realized that their version of media that they're claiming and guilting their way into getting to make in the most mainstream of fashions, they don't get that, like, it's not going to become a cool hip trend. It's not going to last the test of time like great true heroes' journeys. So they make these shitty movies that like stroke off women's egos and tell them how powerful they are and you can slay too, queen. And nobody really cares about it in the future. No girl's self-esteem is made better because of it. Your self-esteem goes up when you set goals and then you accomplish them. But anyway, yeah. And anyway, I don't want to go see a movie with Brie Larson. She looks like my ex-girlfriend with those cold, dead, drugged out eyes. Oh, and that just resting bitch face and those just glazed over, just, what are you doing here? I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to pay money to see that shit. Like, I've already like lived it, man. Anyway, moving on. They announced that they're going to do a Hawkeye series. Yeah, man. Sounds cool, doesn't it? Sounds cool. Oh, sorry. It's all about passing the torch to Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop gets it. She's gonna get it. She's gonna pass the torch. Gonna pass the bow to Kate Bishop. Because you can't, when you get what you want these days, you don't get what you want. Sorry, fans who've nurtured and bought Hawkeye and loved Hawkeyes for decades upon decades and loved like this character they developed with him. Kate Bishop is going to take over the series at some point, and Jeremy will probably be out because that's the era we live in. We live in an era of, you know, if there's a cool guy version of something, they're going to try to make a girl version and they're going to tell you that she's better. That's it. They don't have any respect for the character or the past or how much fans love it. They don't care. It's all about propagating the messaging that women are better and, you know, you need to like them more because we just really want you to. It's sad too, though, because it's not a cool, compelling story, is it? Like, it's not the cool story of Hawkeye like it should be. Instead, it's going to be the story of how a woman is better and takes over. And that's not really much of a story. That's more of just like a creepy propaganda message. And to be honest, who wants to watch that shit? Once again, only feminists do. They're turning all of our mainstream stories and media into these like commercials for their self-esteem. And like, who wants to watch that shit? Not I, said the Vaughn. On other news, what happens to heroes when the world doesn't need them anymore? This has been explored before. It's called No One Left to Fight. And look at these weirdo mer people, like, who don't, like they just dye their hair and sit around all day. Oh, what do we do? Anyway, this is an Aubrey Sitterson comic, and he's kind of an interesting cat because he wrote for G.I. Joe and at the same time told people that they weren't allowed to mourn 9/11 and that they were full of shit for mourning it. What? Oh yeah, and by the way, he's a socialist. Let's all put this together and say this out loud now. Aubrey Sitterson wrote G.I. Joe and is a socialist. That's like the era we live in because, our arts have been infiltrated by lunatic activists. What can I say? He actually, he got fired from G.I. Joe, and he actually blames Comicsgate and people like me because of it. I don't really think it was us. I think it was his own fucking mouth that did it. he shouldn't have run his mouth against, our country like that. Basic stuff there, G.I. Joe writer. Do you even know what you're writing? What the fuck? He had a #1 coming with a new G.I. Joe series, and it was canceled before they even shipped the first issue. And he comes up, I think it's him who comes up with these hilarious slugs and titles for his books to try to get you to read them. But they're really weird. They're kind of got a meathead disposition to them. They're kind of simple and dumb. He said that his G.I. Joe was the greatest action comic of all time. And then he got canceled before issue 1 even shipped. But he'll say stuff like that. He'll be like, it's the greatest ever. Like, let's see what he did for this one. The comic you always wanted. What? That's lame. He comes up with lame slugs for his books. Like, you need to not use him, people. He actually also, in other radical news on Aubrey, he is the only person, first and only, hopefully last person, to make a G.I. Joe cover into gay fetish porn. And I'm not kidding. He really did that, and then they did interviews with him about it, and he and the interviewers giggled about it. They thought it was so cute and subversive, because that's what the left does. They take this kind of creepy pleasure and degrading things to like a nasty level, and I think that's really cute and funny, and like at some point you're like, dude, you put porn on the cover of a G.I. Joe comic book that kids buy. Well, let's be honest, a lot of adults buy it too, but kids walk into that store and see it on the shelf too, and it's gay fetish porn, right down to some of the people on the cover having hankies hanging out of the back of their pants, which is like it's called the hanky code. Learned about it in human sexuality class. It's like a gay thing where the different colors represent your fetish. I mean, that's straight up fetish porn, man. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, I almost felt a little sorry for Aubrey, though, even though I shouldn't have. He was a fucking dick. But he's got his new book, No One Left to Fight, and it's about superheroes. Don't know who to fight. Green afro and blue sideburns and pink beard. Don't know who to fight. Why do SJW characters always look like they fucking, like mer people? Like they fell out of a vat of Kool-Aid before they fucking, went to go do their heroing for the day. They just look so tacky and fucking, like, we're gonna look back at this era just with tears in our eyes, dude. Anyway, so in other news, Mark Waid he's announced his book with Kwanzaa, SJW. Fucking, his real last name's Johnson. I'm not kidding. Look it up. And he hired Kwanzaa and Mags Visaggio, and so far they've done amazing work for a comic company called Humanoids. Now, this is kind of a big deal because Humanoids is launching its first ever floppies and its first ever shared superhero universe. So this is a big deal for them. They need to do it right. They hire Mark Waid. I guess on paper that sounds right. He's kind of a famous author with a big following. And then he just goes to work and he hires the diversity squad to make books like this. What if a group of school shooting survivors had superpowers? If the story's about them having superpowers, but they're too afraid to use them, and the shooting happens, and the fallout after, that's kind of dramatic and interesting to think about. But it sounds to me like they get the powers. What actions would they take to transform society? Oh, I wonder where this is going to go. It's not going to go to them like, disarming America or anything. Oh no, not at all. Mark Waid, John Cassidy, and of course Kwanzaa take people with shitty hair colors and put them in situations that you don't care about. In the new book called, I don't think this preview says what it is, but let's look at the website, see what's going on. So this is the Humanoids website. If you don't know Humanoids, they're a comic company that's been kind of in the shadows for a while, and yet putting out such beautiful stuff. A lot of European stuff. A lot of gorgeous art, amazing, and their books are just mwah. Like, not just the book themselves, I mean like the binding, like they do these hardbounds with these great like glossy covers, and it's just gorgeous work. Like, you could tell they love their books. They just really care, right? And they've been putting out books for years and years, and I love them. And I hear that they're launching their shared universe, and I look at this, and this is what I get. This is what I get. This is what we get. We get. We get fucking. This is it. Their first ever ongoing monthly books, a shared superpowered universe. Sounds like it could be awesome. I think they're gonna bring this great sensibility to the industry, right? An industry that desperately needs like more good stories and good art, right? That they're gonna do it right. That they're gonna shake things up and bring this like humanoids high quality books into the foray, right? I am pumped, right? Like let me explain to you like what's going on here. I have to look at my bookshelf here. Okay, so this is a humanoids book I own, and it's the ultimate collection of the Meta Barons. I mean, look at this thing. Look at the thickness. Look at how badass this book is, okay? Now, it doesn't end there. Let's mosey on over here, past my human skull and Black Panther and a signed poster for Gundam by the creator Yoshiyuki Tomino. I'm a fucking nerd. And let's see. Awesome Comicscape books. And then you've got Meta Barons, hardbound Meta Barons, Meta Barons, Meta Barons. These are all hardbound. I bought all of these. I haven't gotten to read them yet. This is my to read pile. It's embarrassing. I know, but it's badass too. I can't wait to read all this stuff again, or well, some of it for the first time. And I mean, look at these books. They're oversized. You know, they're beautiful. They're hardbound. I order all these books. I just ordered a new one tonight, man. Okay? They put out high quality, beautiful books. And what is this? They put out their floppies. They hire Mark Waid, and Mark Waid goes to work on trying to prove a point. That's what they do. They didn't sit down and say, we're going to create so much fun and such great characters that everyone's going to want to buy these books, and humanoids is going to explode. No, they didn't do that. Instead, it's always about proving a point with leftists. Oh, we're going to prove a point. We're going to show that diversity works. We're going to show that comic books about people of color, blah, 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 works. So the first one's Ignited, and this is the one with Kwanzaa, and it's your school shooting happens, and then they get superpowers, because of course they do. Next one's Omni. This is so hysterical. A gifted doctor with a vibrant, compassionate personality, Cecilia Cabina, received boundless praise from her peers and patients. Of course she did. All SJW characters receive over-the-top, constant praise. But that was before the incident in Africa. Ooh, this might get interesting. Before she was forced to leave her job at Doctors Without Borders behind. Okay, I take it that's a classic activist type thing that helps people. Before she gained the ability to think faster than the speed of light. Overwhelmed with the power to answer every question, she must now overcome her own fears and tackle the one code she can't seem to break. The truth behind the Ignited, which is up here, in case you ever forgot. So, this is weird. She thinks faster than anyone on the planet, but she also just has all the answers, so she's omniscient. So they called it Omni, and it's this classic trope we're seeing in a lot of comics and movies now. It's always a black chick grinning with like a pair of glasses, and she's always smarter than you and everyone. It's this weird thing that guilty white guys make. I don't know why we do this. Because we're guilty. We feel guilty. We feel like this might make the world a better place. It won't. It doesn't really make anything better or change anything. But if she's a cool character, she's a cool character. Frankly, I think the idea sounds ridiculously lame. Like, she thinks fast. She's a fast thinker. Like, you can't show that in a comic book format very well. Meyer, huh? I bet Mark Waid gets a fucking chill up his neck every time they mention the name of this book. And they're at meetings and shit. Because Richard Meyer is freaking currently suing Mark Waid. And rightfully so. And Mark Waid's actually in a lot of trouble right now. And he, as usual, he's trying to make art that makes him look like the best guy in the world, which when people do that, they've got more skeletons in their closet than John Wayne Gacy has under his driveway. Mark Waid put this team together, kind of interesting, a very virtue signal-y team that's going to produce crap books, and that's the part that bothers me the most, makes me the most sad, is, as you've seen, I'm a fan of humanoids, and I buy their hardback stuff and drop that extra money, and yet I won't be buying a single floppy of this. There's nothing for me.
right? Well, let's check it out. Let's give it a chance, right? They've got free comic book day. Check that out. First look. This is it, guys. First shared universe. People like Dr. Cecilia Cabina. She looks like she's like 15. She's a doctor. I am in a life and death. What? The font. I can't read that. Across the state. And I am also one who's very, very hard to surprise. Help me apply pressure. But there's no way I could even have counted on this. Bullet passed through, but you're losing. Stay down, losing blood. A terrified kid who just shot a policeman. And then this is her hyper mind, okay? Accent, local, hair, light brown. Sticking out from mask. No shit. This is the type of stuff your brain thinks without you processing yourself verbally, but your brain notices it. But they're acting like this is some kind of superpower. Skin, visible, likely Caucasian. Hey, you think? In an SJW book, the bad guy would be white. Height, weight, 5'5", 160 pounds, give or take. Angle of firearm, lethal. She's looking at the angle and she's like, this is lethal. I just wanted the money. So they're like, please don't hurt her. And she's like, please listen to me. He cannot move. And you are in no danger unless you pull that trigger again. As of now, this man will survive, but another shot from that exact angle will go right through his heart. I promise you. Okay, this is a crazy situation with a guy wearing goofy ski goggles for some reason and screaming and holding his gun at an angle, like while holding a flailing, screaming kid. Do you think his gun is really staying at the exact same angle the entire fucking conversation? Listen, please, everyone is alive. No one has seen your face. Just drop the hostage and run. And then she looks and you see all the like mathematical data going by, like speed of light thinking. I don't think your brain, with the speed of light thinking, I don't think your brain would be able to handle it and process it because your brain only functions. Whatever. I don't want to get too into it. I said, drop the hostage, you lack wit. And he runs out with the kid, and then she's like, the mother's car outside. It's pointed north. And then she thinks all these things. And then she thinks, I saw a patrol car exactly 14 miles up the highway. And she thinks really hard and fast. And that's it. That's the story. The bad guy gets away. And with a baby hostage, and she's just thinking about like what she could do because she's a big thinker. Isn't that right, Mark Wade? Black girls could think too, because I'm a guilty white guy who can't handle life because I'm fucking King Baby, the Mr. Tantrum of comics. Anyway, so yeah, that's one of the books they're putting out. Isn't this riveting? A hero who just sits there and says, please don't shoot the gun at that angle, sir. I've determined that angle is lethal. And then thinks, I saw a patrol car 14 miles away. Anyway, that's what you guys are going to be treated to later on. This is what's being made with Kwanzaa and Mags and God knows what other people no one gives a damn about. And it sucks. It's sad because Mark Wade could have brought in awesome writers that are up and coming and can really write stories. And he knows who can write and who can't. He's that good of a writer and that experienced. He knows that they can't, but it's not about that for him. This is their shared universe. Shirtless cheering man, invisible violet dude, like drummer guy, chick with purple glowy stuff, paper airplane chick, scarf girl and running dude, and big brain chick who's processing all of it and going, I'm smarter than you. So yeah, this is a really bad idea for a comic book format for panels. Like, she thinks fast and she analyzes. Like, when you're not gonna feel that speed of thinking in something like a comic when you look at these images that are in stasis, they're not moving, and there's no speed to how, and then you read it at a certain speed and your own brain processes it. You don't feel, even with, like, you could put all the pink little boxes you want and pixels everywhere, you're not going to feel the speed. This is a terrible idea for a book. Mark Waid, you are ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah, guys, that's what's been going on with comics, or that's what was announced just today. What do you think? Comics seems like it's doing okay to you. I feel terrible because I love humanoids, and this is what they're doing. They're going the wrong route. They could have made things awesome, and they decided to go the SJW route, and it's not going to pay off. People are not going to love these books. People are not going to love his team. This is a travesty. It's so sad. This is so... I think fast as he runs away, and he gets away with the hostage. Good job, dildo. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm Von Klaus. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Really appreciate it. Please look out for me. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Rise Again on Twitter, and subscribe. I have a comic book coming out soon. It's called Monster MD. It's so amazing. It's the best thing I've ever made, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So take it easy. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.